So this is the way my brain appears to work. I have a very short attention span these days for some reason, and I find it hard to watch films anymore. But I had set my stall out to look at something last night, so I found Apocalypse Now, the final cut, which is a very much an extended version of the original film, and it's a very well made film. There's some like really sumptuous cinematography in it. There's a couple of lovely scenes where the boat is going up the river. It's very well made. It's largely very well acted. Martin Sheen's very good at it. If Christopher Walken had have actually, or not Christopher Walken, if Harvey Keitel had have originally, who had originally played scheduled to play Willard, would it have been different? I don't know. Marlon Brando, top billing. Very iconic scene with the urine boy though. Yeah, it lived up to its expectation there. Anyway, that's nothing to do with anything. When Willard first meets Kurtz, he notices on the table in his room in the temple a couple of books, and one of them is The Golden Bough, and which is a book I'd heard of before but knew very little about, other than that apparently it's naughty for some reason, and wrong thinkers. So I had to have a little look about The Golden Bough, and Mr. Fraser's anthropology book sounds jolly interesting, just the kind of thing I'd really love to read, so I'm definitely going to get my hands on a copy of it. And then, of course, I had to read a little bit about it on Wikipedia, so there was reference to in popular culture, so T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland showed up, and that's a poem I've never read but would like to read too, and so I had to have a little Wikipedia about that. So that Wikipedia article went on to describe T.S. Eliot's relationship with Ezra Pound, who I've heard of before and had a vague awareness in terms of his influence on poetry in the early 20th century, and his own poetry obviously. I'd actually heard him a couple of nights before because Dan Simmons' character Martin Silenus in the Hyperion Cantos is based on Ezra Pound. So this is the way my brain goes sometimes, and I was thinking about Martin Silenus' character and some of the themes in Hyperion Cantos, and then also in the Ilium Olympus universe. So then I had to have a read about Ezra Pound, and a very interesting character. Wikipedia, I remember reading about him in my Christopher Hitchens compendium, actually, the arguably book of essays. So yeah, a naughty thinker it would appear, and yeah, a few other. So a naughty thinker, okay. So this makes it sound quite interesting though, as someone who I certainly am interested in reading some of their actual work, as opposed to a few Wikipedia type entries which are largely appear to be, this is one of the people that you can't interact with because they're bad. So anyway, obviously that's like a red rag to a bull with me these days, so I'll see if I can rustle me up some Ezra Pound somewhere, So yeah, anyway, Apocalypse Now with the final cut, quite interesting. Not the greatest film in the world I've ever seen. Hard. I think he was Coppola was being a little bit too abstract with the way he was exploring the themes in it. But it would certainly make me want to read Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Again, this is the way. This is the way things are with me now. Joseph Conrad writes Heart of Darkness, which I'm given to understand is an excoriation of the colonial, experience of Congo at the hands of the Belgians. Yet all we know Joseph Conrad for is that he had another really, really, really good book called The N-Word of the Narcissus, and naughty words can't have that. Anyway, thanks for listening.